Can I start the session?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Emma, good morning, all of you. Last class, we have seen inheritance and how to derive classes, how to create classes from the base class, and how to perform inheritance, and how to communicate themselves, and how method overriding occurs. Again, just I am repeating, method overriding fastly. When method overriding occurs, if the parent class and the subclasses have the same version of method, same version means, suppose you see, if this is the parent class, class A, so this class contains a method called void display. Void display. The name of the method is display. Return type is void. Okay. So body, that is different. Body, you need not concentrate on body. You have to concentrate on name of the method, return type, and the parameters. If any parameters are there, look at the order of type of parameters. Okay. So if the same signature means a name, return type, including the parameters, type, order, everything same as in the subclass also. However, in the parent class, void display, if the same method is appeared in the subclass means void display. So then you said the concept is called method overriding. How method overriding means, suppose if you create an object for class B, if you can call B dot display, for example, B, some X is the instance, for example, sub object SUB sub OB is the instance or object for the class B. Suppose if you invoke sub OB dot display, which method will be called? Parent method or subclass method? So this is nothing but subclass method will be invoked because the visibility of the subclass will be occurred at the time. So in this case, what happened is the subclass method overridden the superclass property. This is exactly called method overriding. So in order to perform overriding, how to occur overriding means the simple thing. However, is parent class contained a method including the name, return type, and the other things means parameters, order, type, number. If the subclass also containing the same, here also you see void display is there. Okay. In general, because of inheritance property, if suppose if no method is no such method is there in the subclass, if you no, you assume there is no void display method in B. Suppose if you create an object like this B sub OB equal to new something, if you invoke sub OB dot display, then it is a inheritance property, means a property of the parent class. The meaning is the parent of the parent class property display is invoking by a subclass object. But in this case, in the overriding case, what happens is the subclass also containing the same property. However, the parent class is contained. So void display is there in both subclass and superclass. So now, if you invoke the display method through the subclass object, definitely the subclass version will override the superclass version. Means the visibility of the subclass version will be come into the picture, not the superclass display method will execute. Please remember this particular concept, most important. Okay. So next, so here suppose if there are multiple superclasses. So before going to the dynamic method dispatch, actually I have explained you dynamic method dispatch. Once again, I'm explaining because of the importance. One must understand. So you have to know this particular concept, superclass reference variable. As I already told you, a reference variable can be created for any class. But here the concept is superclass reference variable. Suppose if superclass is A, you have created some variable X, A space X means X is a variable of type class A, where class A is superclass. So what is the capacity of the superclass? So superclass capacity is, if a reference variable of type superclass can be assigned a reference to any subclass object derived from that superclass, means the subclass object, the superclass reference, then at the time holds that particular object. Suppose A1X, for example, A1X. A1 is the superclass, A2 is the subclass. You see this example, class A1 is the superclass, A2 is the subclass because A2 extends A1. Okay, so now what is the superclass reference variable here? X, A1 X. So X is a superclass reference variable. So the capacity of superclass reference variable is a superclass reference variable can be used to refer the subclass objects also. A superclass reference variable can hold itself, can also use it to hold the others, whoever are derived from it. Means whatever the subclasses are derived from that. So now you see X equal to, if new A1 means at that time the reference variable X is pointing to itself, means the same object A1. So you see here the third statement, X equal to new A2 means X is a superclass reference variable. X is a superclass reference variable. Now it is currently holding the subclass A2's object. Subclass A2's object means this particular concept is much required when you perform or execute runtime polymorphism through a wonderful concept called dynamic method dispatch. Dynamic method dispatch means in general I tell you before the dynamic method dispatch, in general the method invocations are in general predicted or uh, decided, the order sequence in general decided at the compile time statically. So now if the concept is dynamic method dispatch means the method invocations and the order will be done in the runtime. So the method invocations are made at runtime because when overriding occurs, there are many superclasses, there are many subclasses. There is a single superclass. For example, you assume A is the superclass, B, C, D are the subclasses. If suppose method overriding occurs, method overriding means, for example, there is a method called int addition. For example, int sum, int x comma int y. For example, int sum, name of the method is sum, return type is integer, and the parameters are two integers. Let us say int comma int. Okay, if the same thing is there in the subclasses as well as in the superclass, you know that that is method overriding. So the problem is the calling sequence may raise some runtime problems because the invocations are whether suppose if some method is invoked using your individual objects. So whether that some invocation some method is ready or which particular version of the method is able to execute. So there may be a problem occurs in the runtime. So in order to resolve the problem in the runtime, so I will tell you an example. For example, a real-time example. For example, suppose some orders are have to dispatched by, for example, a delivery person today, Amazon, for example, he has to deliver 10 items. So that sequence is decided in advance because they, as per their schedule, today these are the 10 items has to deliver. So the problem is the 10th item or the 9th item, for example, that was unable to dispatch today because of some internal problem, or maybe the flight is not come, or some other domestic problem occur at their end, or the person may be uh, suffering from some fever or some because of some corona restrictions. Maybe any of the problem, the order sequence, whatever the order they scheduled in advance, is now needed to deviate it. So such thing is required. Such thing is required when such problems are required, needed. So at that time, if we have a concept called dynamic method dispatch, the order can be altered. Means the, so for example, the 9th item can be dispatched after all the items are once dispatched, or tomorrow may be scheduled. So this type of calling sequence can be we can estimate or predict in the runtime during using this dynamic method dispatch. So for that dynamic method dispatch concept understanding, so one must know this particular concept, superclass reference variable. So what is the capacity of superclass reference variable? A superclass reference variable can be able to hold itself the same object, or it is used to hold the other subclasses objects, means whoever are derived from it. But the reverse is not possible, means a subclass object cannot hold the superclass object. You see this fourth statement. Z equal to new A1. What is Z? Z is an object of reference variable of A2, means subclass reference variable. Subclass reference variable is Z equal to new A1. What is A1? That is new A1 means that is object of parent class. So can a subclass reference variable able to hold the superclass object? No, that is invalid. So please remember, sir, that is why this concept is much is needed in order to understand the dynamic method dispatch. So what exactly you will know in the dynamic method dispatch means, yeah, this is runtime polymorphism can be exhibited through this dynamic method dispatch. You see this method overriding forms the basis of one of Java's most powerful concept, dynamic method dispatch. This occurs when the Java resolves a call to a overridden method at runtime and in turn implements runtime polymorphism. So how this occurs, how this can be achieved? Very simple, sir. So you have to use superclass reference variable. When this concept is used, when overriding occurs, then only this concept is used. So what is the solution for it? How to implement it? Very simple. We have to create a superclass reference variable, and then we can use the superclass reference variable to hold the individual objects. Individual objects. From that, you can invoke an overriding method, overridden method, so that you can understand that particular version is only invoked at the time. There is no chance of invocations received by any of the other classes methods. I'll show you. You see, you see this. There is a class called figure. This is the super class. Okay, this figure class contains. You need not concentrate on others. You just see this method, overridden method, because this concept is used when overriding occurs. So what is the method? Double area. Double area. It contains something. So it is a method of figure, superclass. So next, let us see. There is a class called rectangle which extends figure. Rectangle. This rectangle class is also contained double area. Similarly, triangle class. This also extends from figure. This also contains double area. So these two subclasses contains the same thing. So whenever a parent class and its subclasses contains the same method, including the name and return type, everything are same, you say that that concept is called overriding, method overriding. So now how we are preparing the solution? It's very, very, very simple to understand. Now you see this. This is a third party class. This is another class, find area, which contains main method, public static void main. So now you see what I had told you. You have to create you need not concentrate on all these things because these are common every time you do in general. So this is figure F new figure. This is for superclass. This is for subclass object. This is for another subclass object. Now our concept is to first create a reference variable for the superclass. What is the reference variable here? FIZ. FIZ is the reference variable for your superclass figure. So now how this concept is implemented? First step over. Our next step is to assign the individual objects by this superclass reference variable. Now Fi is equal to R. What is R, sir? Rectangle class object. So R refers to rectangle class object. R currently holds the rectangle class object. Now I write Fiz equal to R means if I call Fiz dot area, it is very, very clearly known that the method call will be sent to which particular area method? Is it triangle method or figure method or rectangle method? It is very, very clearly showing that it is a method invocation sent to R dot R area. R means rectangle class area method will be invoked. A very, very clear indication. This is next you see Fiz equal to T. At this time, this superclass reference variable is holding which variable? T. T means it is the triangle class reference variable. Means now the superclass reference variable figure is able to hold the subclass triangles object. So now if you invoke the same Fiz dot area, now it is an invocation made to the triangle class area method. Which area method? Triangle class area method. Next, if you go for the same Fiz equal to F. Now FIZ, that is the superclass reference variable, is now holding the object of itself, the same object. Now, if we write FIZ dot area, the same method invocation, which is sent to which method? Figure superclass area method. This is how the method invocations are resolved at the runtime. That is why this concept is called dynamic method dispatch. And now you are seeing how the runtime polymorphism is exhibiting. What is polymorphism? Able to have multiple forms. You know, the methods are all same, but now they are exhibiting different behaviors, where statically or compile time or in the runtime. So now you can say that this is the most important concept as far your interview point of view is concerned. If anyone asks you how runtime polymorphism is exhibiting in Java, the simple answer is dynamic method dispatch. And using abstraction and interfaces also we can implement this. But first answer should be dynamic method dispatch. Most very important concept, star concept. Okay, this is okay, sir. Next. So before going to the next concept, I would like to tell you about the demonstration of Eclipse environment, because one should know the usage, simple usage of Eclipse environment. I will give you some brief introduction and the usage, so that you will be used for your next further things, further learning process, and as well as for the uh, practice purpose. Okay, so I show you from opening everything. I show you. Eclipse is open source software, sir. You can download it from your internet by choosing an appropriate version, whether it is your whatever operating system you are using and everything, that you can select 64 or 32 bit, that you have to choose. So the prerequisite for installing Eclipse is JDK must be installed in your system. Without JDK, you can't use Eclipse. Eclipse is an IDE, integrated development environment, where you can use all the tools for writing and building, and for the other creation of applications and projects in your Java. Eclipse is a multi-language environment, sir. We can use it for our Java also. So now I just click on this executable file. So it is a Kepler version I am having. So this is the workspace where you want to keep all your files. So here I have this workspace in C drive users. MSN Murthy is the workspace. In that the files will be stored, whatever the files I am creating. Please note down whatever I am telling you. It is very easy for your learning point of view, and which minimizes your burden of typing. Typing burden will be almost minimized. Whatever the things you learned so far, you must understand, and you can use all these in this environment. But before using this environment, one should have a knowledge of all the concepts with your notepad or any other editor. Okay, sir. You don't see all the things. You see, these are the menus available: file, edit, source, refactor, all these. So our first thing is file. Go for file. What we have to create? New. So in this, you can create a Java project, because we are using Java. Okay, here you must understand whether all these things are clearly mentioned or not. Okay, so whether the specific GRE and all the things are mentioned correctly or not. So for example, so I am creating a project called Wipro class, for example. So I am showing for your learning understanding purpose only. The other Hello. Sorry, Amma, net is disconnected for me. Uh, I'm showing you. Okay. So I think this is disconnected again. I'll show you. So this is your Eclipse environment. Eclipse environment. You have to choose Java project. So here you type some project name and you have to check all these things. Okay. So your project will be created like this. SRC. So finish. Okay. So this is your project created. So in this, all the things will be included. So SRC contains the source files. So if you want to create a program, so you have to create new. Suppose if you want to create a package, you have to click this. If you want to create a class, you have to create this class. So some class name. Okay. Demo 1, for example. Demo 1. Okay. If you want to contain, if your class code need to contain, so some public static void main method, you need not type, you can directly click this. You need not type public static void main. You can select this. Select this. Okay. If you want constructors, you can select this. All these things you can select this. Okay. Finish. Okay, your class is created. Fine. So suppose you want some scanner class. For example, scanner SC new scanner. See, I'll show you each and everything. If you want to type something, if you want to type something, okay. It shows you scanner. Okay. So in this, we have to write a system dot in. Okay. See now, I'm removing this. If you want to use some resource, what you have to do is you have to in general import the corresponding package. So for package purpose, you need not type. You simply use a shortcut Control Shift O. Control Shift O. It shows you which package you want. Suppose this package you want, yes, select and finish. So the package statement is automatically created. Okay. So this is one advantage. So another thing is, suppose if you have a class, suppose some XYZ. Okay. You have created some int A, float B, suppose a double C. Okay, you have created three variables. Suppose if you want constructor for this class, constructor, you need not type it constructor. You simply right click, source, go to source. See, generate constructor using fields. Now it asks you how many fields you want. Suppose if you want the default constructor means no single parameter is used. See how it is created. Suppose if you want source, generate constructor using fields. Suppose if you want with two fields, select it. So with the two fields, the constructor is created. Suppose if you want to construct with all the fields, by default it selects all. Source, generate constructor using all the fields are selected. So now you see all the fields are constructed. So this is constructor statement part is automatically created. So this button is also not yours. And suppose in general, the general business based Java application programs requires getters and setters. Getters and setters means suppose you have ABC, ABC for example, ABC, or suppose your class is bank application, bank app for example. Okay, I am removing all these. This is your bank app class. Okay, so this class is contained int account number, string employee name, double balance for example. So how many fields are there? 3 fields. Suppose for example, if there is a constructor required, you create a constructor with fields, all the fields are selected and created. Constructor is created. So now if you want getters and setters means a getter method will be created for all the each individual variable lines, name, account and account number, account name, and account getters methods are with get prefix, get balance, get name, get account number, like that. Getters, setters means with the set prefix, the methods will be created. So if you want those, so go to source, generate getters and setters. Getters and setters for what? Account number, balance, ename. Now the methods get account number, set account number, get balance, set balance. So the getters and setters methods are created automatically. You see, these methods are not typed by me. So these methods are automatically generated whenever I choose that option. So this is how this minimizes your burden. Similarly, one more thing. Okay, what I have done, if I write SYS OUT, SYS OUT, so I want to write system.out.println. For that, I simply write SYS OUT. If I press, keep the cursor here. If I press Control plus space, so the entire statement will be generated. I need not type. I need not type anything. Control and space. Again, if you want, I show you again. SYS OUT. If I press control plus space. For example, if you want to write anything, for example, int sum y equal to sc dot, what is the next int method? Next n. If you type n, all the things will be visible. Suppose still if you are typing next I, if you press control enter, next int will be selected like this. So all these things will definitely help you for typing burden, minimizing typing burden in your programming. Okay, sir. This is so save. Okay. So if you want to run this program, I remove all these. I show you a simple program. I removed each and everything. I show you system.println, enter x value, for example. If you want, you can declare here, no problem. int x comma y comma z, for example, you can declare here or you can declare anywhere. Okay, now x equal to sc dot next int, finished. Similarly, enter, for example, y value. For this, what we have to do? We have to write y. Okay. So z equal to x into y, for example. System dot out dot println product of is, what is the result? Z. Okay. So I have done my program writing. Save it, right click. Either you can right click or you can run as Java application, because this is a console based application program. So what it is asking, enter x value, enter y value, press. So that is the result. This is how you have to execute. If suppose someone may ask, sir, how to run comma if the inputs are not asked like this, if the inputs are asked in the command line prompt, command line arguments, then command line arguments, I think everybody knows. So for command line arguments, this thing you need not, scanner class is also not required. Suppose if you want to take the inputs as command line arguments, int x comma y comma z, x equal to integer dot parse args of, for example, 0. Similarly, y equal to integer dot parse args of 1. Okay. Over z equal to x into y, for example. Same program. I am just using the inputs reading from command line argument. That is the only thing. So multiplication result equal to z. Okay, for this, how to save, how to run this, how to give command line arguments. For this, go for run configurations, go to run configurations, go to arguments. What are the arguments? Two arguments. Two are integers. So give, one is 12, space, another is 25. Apply and run. What is the output? Multiplication equal to 300. So for this, how to give the command line arguments? Go to run configurations. In that, you have to give the arguments here, one after another, providing by space. Okay. If you want to change it, you can change it. Run, for example, run configurations, arguments, go to arguments, apply, run. Now this time the output is multiplication equal to 4800. So this is the thing you have to remember for how to give the how to organize the packages without typing Control Shift O. Control Shift O. Please remember. Yeah, that in command line arguments, if you want to pass an array, how to pass it? Yeah, need not enclose. You can directly type one after another. In general, command line arguments for array is not suggestible. It is better to have scan this uh, scanner. That is also good. Okay, no problem. But spaces like this you can give for one after another. Because for array, for example, if you ask about array, arrays are not created like this. I think everybody knows. Arrays are created like this only. New int of let us say 5, for example, 5 for int I equal to 0, I less than, either you can directly give 5 or you can give the name of the array length. Okay, like this you can give. Inside that you can write whatever, for example, x of I. So the thing can be, wait, no, wait, integer dot percent, so arg of I you can give like this. Okay, so can be, first one can be, okay, good. So this is how you have to use the Eclipse environment. And also most important thing is you have to look at this particular thing, whether this is perspective. Okay, this is perspective, whether the perspective, you see this, you see this, see this, which perspective you are using, whether it is Java SC see, we are writing the general open perspective, which perspective we are using. So here you can customize the perspectives, because whether you are writing a standalone general console application or an enterprise Java program, that is for server side Java program. In that case, we go for definitely Java EE perspective. This is not Java EE perspective. This is general standalone standardized standard enterprise application programs. So general perspective it is. Okay. So this is about Eclipse environment. Okay. Now we go for the another concept, sir. So please practice all the concepts in a very clear manner. Otherwise, things will be remembered for you as concepts only, unless you practice. If you can practice, you can talk about these concepts in a very much detailed manner. Anybody can talk. If you are able to talk, definitely you will be good. Otherwise, you can't do anything. Programs you must practice. Okay, for the milestone exams purpose, you must, anybody, if anybody want to get good, become good in programming, definitely one must concentrate and practice on the logic based questions definitely, because all these things are different, and milestones clearing is different. For milestone clearing, I think from the earlier experiences, only the MCQs contains the topic and their corresponding bits, but the logic building practice is available in the this PBL app. So I think you can practice there. So logic building questions related to general programming, and logic means like calculations of something, generation of some passwords, and creating some encryption based programs, or generating a security password, or for example string based manipulations. So for that, one must strong at different concepts, I surely tell you, which is string manipulations, array manipulations, conversions of the individual characters from one particular format to another particular format. Conversions, type conversion should be known. How a character will be converted into an integer, how an integer will be converted into other form. So all these conversions you have to practice if one needs to clear the logic building based questions, so that you have to practice all these things in a very, very detailed manner, because I can teach, but I cannot, for example, I cannot tell you how to write a program in this manner for the particular course, because that is your own experience only. Student can acquire his own experience, his or her own experience, because programming is an individual talent. Programming, nobody can teach you this program you have to do. We can tell you some programs you have to practice. This similarity is there in some set of programs, like for example, if you want to create a program for palindrome, reverse of a number, sum of individual digits, perfect number. So all these programs contain some similar logic, some Fibonacci sequence. So some programs contain some recursion based things required. So you have to practice recursion concepts also. Okay. So though if you can understand those concepts and string manipulation methods in a clear manner, so that you can clear any type of exam very easily. Okay, understanding the concept is not only sufficient, but practice is much needed. So now coming to strings, sir. So you know about strings in C in one manner. That is, your C teacher may tell you that string is a set of characters in C, because there is no specific data type existed in which you have learned your C programming. For creating a single character or a string, you use the data type char. If you want to make the character array into a string, you just append a character, a null character at the end of, I'll show you, at the end of your character array in your C. For example, if you want to create a string in your C, you have done like this. For example, this is a character array. This you have converted into a string like this. What you have done? You have placed a null character /0 at the end of a string. Otherwise, you have created a string like this also. Within double quotes, you have created like this. Both are similar. Both are similar. But the thing difference is, if you use a character array, you have placed a null character. You must do it. Otherwise, compiler will not understand. This is the termination point, and it treats as a character array and then become a string. So in this case, you need not place this null character like this. It is automatically compiler will do it. So for anyhow, if you want to create a string in C, you have to do like this with the help of this char keyword to create a string also. But Java is a very, I think you all know that Java is a robust language. The robust language means what? Strongest language. How do you say the different features? It won't allows you for different type of type conversions. It allows only some specific type of type conversions only, and it is very particular about the types which we are using. A character array cannot be a string. A character array is different, and a string is different. A character in a character data type is a primitive data type in Java, but a string is an object. String is a class in Java. You are, if you are using strings, means you are creating instances of strings and you are then manipulating. Okay, please understand. Character is different. Character is different. Characters are data types, normal data type. String is a class type. String is a class in Java. Okay, string is not a normal primitive data type. Okay, there are different terminology. You have to able to distinguish the terms. So string, how to create strings? First of all, I tell you, string can be, you can create a group of characters. So in addition to this particular PPT, you have to go through the practice, and you have to go through the textbook or internet also, because if one should learn for a particular concept in Java, they must understand the constructors used for that. So for string, so this is the default constructor. How a constructor will be, a string will be created. So this is the default constructor which takes an empty string. String s equal to new string. S should be capital. I think you all know that in Java, every class should be start with a capital letter. String is a class. Remember, you are creating an instance for string yes. So that is created with a empty string. This is an empty string. Okay. Now you see another way of creating string. This is also correct. String str equal to abc. So a string must be enclosed within double quotes abc. So now the content of the string is abc. That is also okay. Next, you see the same thing. This is above, this part is similar, same as this part. So initially you have created as a character array, data as a character array, A, B, C, which contains a character array of individual characters A, B, C. This is a character array, not string. So now you are making this character array into string. How you are creating? So like this. Okay. So you are passing this character array as an argument to this particular string str. A string str equal to new string data. Okay. Somebody switched on the video. Please off the video. 403. Okay. So data is a character array. Character array ABC. It contains. So now a string is formed with ABC. This is same as this above part. This one. Both are same. Okay. So one thing one must know. A very important point about strings in Java. If you have paper and pen, note it. Strings in Java are immutable objects. Immutable. Immutable means you cannot change the content of the string originally. Okay, once a string object is created, you cannot modify the content of the string object. So then how I able to perform the operations? The operations you can perform in a separate pool will be created. In that pool, if you want to make some operations, you can apply it. The changes will be applied temporarily there only. But the original content will not be disturbed. That is exactly called immutability. Immutability means cannot be altered. Content cannot be altered, remains same. You see, if data array in the above example is modified after the string object str is created, but then str remains unchanged, means you have created data A, B, C. You may change the data, means that character array, but it will not reflect the original content string str. Str always contains ABC only because it is created with that content. Okay. So construct a string object by passing another string object. For example, str you have created as ABC. So that also you can pass here. So a new string str2 is created with the content ABC. So however you have different functions in C for string manipulation. There are wonderful methods are available, very rich set of methods are available in Java also for manipulation or accessing the string content. Okay, let us see one by one. The first one is length method. Length method. Length method is used to print the or return the length of a string. For example, if you see in the double quotes Varun, how many characters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this length method prints 5. People will definitely confuse while they are using length. This length we use in one more case also. Where? For arrays. For your arrays, you are using a parameter called length, but you are using length as a method here. Okay, that is a parameter that is not having any brackets beside length. But for a string, it is a length method. Length method. So that is why after writing length, you are putting the brackets. So Varun double quotes dot length means it returns 5, that because it contains 5 characters. And you already know this symbol plus. What is the use of plus? Plus operator is a string concatenation operator. But that is why you are writing plus in the system.out.println statements also after double quotes. You are using plus. You see string as plus as a concatenation operator. String my name equal to Varun. My name equal to 1. String s equal to my name is plus my name means my name is concatenated with content Varun. Okay. You can see an example. I remove all these. string some str equal to, for example, good. String s equal to morning. Okay. So now system.out.println so that is the default message because I have put inside double quotes. Now what I have done is str plus yes, str plus yes. That plus is used as a, let us see what happens. Welcome, dear students. Good morning. What happened? That good inside this str and morning inside yes are concatenated. Now that entire one comes as good morning. Concatenation is done. Okay. If you want some other methods also, let us see. So for example, if you want to get the length of str, for example. So what is the method used? str dot length. str dot length. Suppose you want the length of the other string, length of s, for example, s dot length. Okay, let us see. First one length is 4, second one length is 7. Okay, there are some other methods. Suppose str dot, I want a character at a specified position. So there is a method called caret method. So str dot char at, for example, 2, caret 2. So as you know, strings are again 0 index based things. 0, G, 1, O, 2 is O. Suppose if you want to see 3, okay, let us see. So what is the character at position 3? D from this. So the character at position 3 is D. This is caret method. In order to extract a specific character from your string, most important, caret method. Okay. So you have seen concatenation. So this is caret method. Caret. So method returns character at the specified index. Index is from 0 to length minus 1. Okay. Next method, equals method. Equals method. In C, which method you have used for comparing two strings? strcmp. So please remember, strings in Java can be compared in one of the three ways. Three different manners it use. Okay. So equals method in general is used to compare with the another method, another string. It is used to compare two strings, whether the two strings contain the same reference or not. Same reference or not. So if the two strings are same, containing same, it returns true. Otherwise it returns false. Okay. So another method is equals ignore case. Ignore case means the above method and this method are say similar, but this method doesn't consider the case. If the content, if the case is also, if the letter is same, that is sufficient for the comparison purpose. It is also for comparison purpose. You see this string 1 hello, string 2 hello. Hello is the content. Both the strings s1 and s2 are pointing to the same reference, hello, because whenever an object is created, you know that a reference will be returned to that reference variable. So that reference for the both the strings are same, because that is why they are pointing to the same hello content. So if you go for s1 equals s2, let us say str, let us check here, str equals str dot equals yes. Let us see whether it gives true or false. It is giving false. Now it is giving true because both the things are same. Now let us see. Now it is returning false because here you used a capital letter. So in order to compare by ignoring the case, so you can use this ignores method equals ignore case method. So now it is giving true. It is neglecting the case. So even though the case is different, the letters are same, the comparison is successful in this case. So this is one way. Another way is you can use this equals to operator. So equals to operator for comparison purpose. String objects reference are same. And you have to know the another thing, that is comparison can be done with the another method, compare to method. This compare to method compares whether the first one is bigger or smaller or equal to the second string for the length purpose. So we compare one with another for the length purpose, greater or smaller for the purpose. Okay, if the first string is, let us see. So let us see. I think you have all seen this. This gives a integer result. Compare to. This compare to method can be used for the normal objects also. Any objects, this method equals and compare to method here. So compare to. What it gives? 32. Okay, now what is the result? 0. 0 because both the strings are same. So it is now going for the string length comparison purpose. Length means the individual characters are tested. Okay. So this is compare to method. Suppose it is given 3. Okay. So this is how string comparison occurs. This is one of the methods. Compare to method. Next, starts with ends with method. Starts with method is used to check whether a particular string starting with the given prefix or not. Suppose you see this example, January is the string. You are verifying whether the string is starts with Jan, John or not. If you see the string is started with John, Jan, John matched. So in this case, it returns true. So please remember, you have to remember not only the name of the method used and the return type also important. Okay, because for the comparison purpose, you have used different methods. Equals method you have used, equals ignore case used, compare to method used. So compare to returns integer value, equals method returns Boolean values. So all types of comparison methods gives the Boolean results. Okay, starts with and ends with. Ends with method is used to return true if the corresponding string is ending with a given substring. So see the same January dot ends with ry means this January is ending with the substring ry or not. If okay, it returns true. Okay. So this is most important method. Index of method. So you have used different methods in C, str, chr method, str method in your C language. Here you use this index of method. Index of method is used to search for a particular character or a substring in a given main string for the first occurrence purpose. First occurrence. Otherwise, if nowhere it is found, the character is not found, it returns -1. -1 means not available. So you see, how was str string str? How was your day today? This is your string. str dot index of t. Sir, please make a note. Please make a note. If I tell you wrong, or you may see anywhere something wrong, but you keep in mind whenever, because here a printing mistake like this, if anywhere you used a method or a something, so definitely the rule for identifier is, if you use a multi-word string, you have used a multi-word string. For example, there is a method called last index of. From the rule is, from the second word onwards, the second word onwards, not first word, second word onwards, each word should be, each word should have a leading capital letter. Leading capital letter means if you use a method for name last index of, so what are capitals in that case? L is capital? No. Second word index I capital, third word of O capital. Here also index of I is not capital, O is capital. So this index of method is used to search for a character or a substring in the given main string, whether it is available or not for the first occurrence. Because one might think of, there might be any number of characters, same character may be repeated again and again. No, this is for the searching purpose, first occurrence is available or not. If available, it returns the position where it is available. You see, how was your day today? Str dot index of t. So it is searching for t. Okay. So where t is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So here index is there. Okay. You see, index of index of index of, for example, index of, let us say v. Okay, what is the position of v? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So index of v is 4 here. Suppose if I have given a letter hash, is hash available there? No, not available in the substring. In that case, it returns -1. Please remember, if the corresponding character is not available, it returns -1. Okay, Nana. Next. So this index of method is also used for searching a substring also, whether a substring is available or not, for the first occurrence of a substring. Similarly, however, index of is used for first occurrence. There is a method called last index of. It performs exact opposite to the index of method. It searches for the last occurrence of a first particular character or substring. Okay, last occurrence, last index of means last occurrence where the letter or a substring is available last. Next, substring retrieval purpose. Substring retrieval purpose, you can use a method called substring method. The substring method in general returns the uh, part of the string from where you want it. Okay, you have given begin index here. So unhappy dot substring of 2. So substring of 2 means this is the beginning index. So what is the beginning index? 0, 1, 2 from here 2. So from 2 to the remaining part will be returned. That is happy will be returned. Similarly, you can mention begin index and end index. 1 comma 5. 1 comma 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, whenever you use, for example, str dot of substring of 1 comma 5. 1 comma 5. Okay. OODV. 1 comma 5 means 1 is the beginning index. 1 should be included. 5 should be not included. 5 is not included. Before 5 means, you see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to this only it will be covered. 1 included, 5 discluded. Okay, this is discarded. Okay, this is not included. Okay, so this is a very important method. Concat method. So we can perform concatenation with the help of the concat method also, in addition to the plus operator. So this is what I want to say. Already I mentioned you. This is a separate heap. This is a separate pool where you can perform operations, but that will not affect the original content. Okay, that is important because strings are immutable objects. Immutable, not mutable. So, sir, is there any mutable string object? Definitely, the mutable string is called string buffer. String buffer. Okay, this is next method of string class, replace method. Replace method is used to replace a new character with an old character. An old character with a new character. See, Wipro Technologies dot replace A with O. A with O means wherever A is encountered, the A is, this is the old character, is replaced with a new character O. Now, Wipro Technologies dot replace A comma O returns Wipro Technologies, means wherever A is encountered, the A is replaced by O. Similarly, trim method. Trim method is used to remove the spaces, means in the beginning and the ending, if any spaces are there, it removes. Let us say here I print str. Here I print str dot trim. This I don't include, exclude. You see this one, first one is printed with original as it is. Before the spaces are there, after also spaces are there. But you see in the second, you have used a method called trim. This trim removes this space, this part and this part. Whatever the spaces are contained before and after the string content, the trailing and leading spaces will be removed by the trim method. Okay. Next, value of method. Value of method is in general used to convert a character array into a string. Sometimes you need some character array. Character array can be converted into a string. Okay. So two lowercase and two uppercase methods you can practice. You know that a lowercase characters of a string can be converted into lowercase. Similarly, uppercase, two uppercase is used to convert all the characters into uppercase. Okay. In addition to this, you have to practice one more method, sir. I stop here. I one more method, that is split method. Next class, whenever I join for the next class, take the next class, I definitely explain you split method. Orally I explain now. Split method is used to split the string into parts. For example, hello, I am, for example, MSN Murthy. After hello, there is some space. I space, am space, after something space, MSN Murthy, M space, S space, N space, Murthy. So by default, it takes a delimiter as by default delimiter space. It partition the entire string into the parts. Hello, I am, M, S, N, Murthy. So the individual characters are the individual parts, words of the string I can extract by using split method. Okay. So split method is most important. Or if you want to set something else other than space, you can also use delimiter as something else, whatever dollar symbol or comma or whatever, however you want to take. Okay, sir. This is about string, where string buffer is, it is mutable. The difference between string and string buffer is it is mutable. String is immutable. So content of string buffer can be modified because the string buffer, whenever it is created with a specified or default capacity. Default capacity is in general 16, or you can maintain, you can give the capacity also. You see, there are some methods you can practice on your own. append method, insert method, delete method, replace method, substring, reverse. Reverse is not there in the string class because you can't manipulate it, the string, because it is immutable. But for a string buffer, you can reverse the content. Length is there, replace is there, substring is there, delete, insert, append are not there. Instead of append, there is concat. Concat. Insert means inserting a specific character to a specific position. Okay, character a substring. Delete means you can delete some portion of the string. So operations can be performed and the content can be affected here because string buffer is a mutable class. Capacity. Capacity means available storage for the characters. So by default, the capacity is 16. You can check it. So caret method is there to extract a character. That's it. That's it today. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me, sir. You can mail me or phone me if you want. I will give you number. Girish, sir.
Sir.
Class is ended.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.